Good afternoon. For all Western New York News and Radio, I'm Scott Leffler. It's Thursday, March 23rd, 2017. Sunny today with a high near 39, a chance of overnight rain with a low around 31, rain tomorrow with a high near 50. What's in the news? There's a lot of it. State Senator Rob Ortt, Republican from North Tonawanda, and former State Senator George Maziarz, who held the seat before Ortt, were indicted on charges yesterday stemming from an investigation New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman did into campaign finance matters. Ortt stands charged with offering a false instrument for filing, while Maziarz's charges are not currently clear. Ortt says he'll fight the charges. Another political figure in Niagara County, Henry Witasick, pleaded guilty on Wednesday to misdemeanor as part of the case. Niagara County Democratic Chairman Nick Forster says this severely wounds the local GOP and will allow for a more even playing field. Forster said when he took over as Democratic chairman in 2012, the GOP had $300,000 banked, while the Dems had only $12,000. Schneiderman also announced that his office has secured a $540,000 settlement with Freedom Stores Incorporated and Freedom Acceptance Corp., formerly Freedom Stores, a now-defunct retailer and financing firm based in Norfolk, Virginia, after the companies fraudulently charged hundreds of New York service members who purchased consumer goods from Freedom Stores. The Attorney General's settlement will clear debt and judgments fraudulently charged to hundreds of New York soldiers at various locations across the United States. Richard Klafka, age 59, and his wife, Kathleen Klafka, age 62, both of Holland, pleaded guilty before U.S. District Judge Richard Arcara in connection with Richard Klafka's receipt of over $1 million in benefits from the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Department of Labor under false pretenses. Richard Klafka pleaded guilty to wire fraud and faces a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Kathleen Klafka pleaded guilty to misprision of a felony, which is punishable by maximum penalty of 3 years in prison. The couple was also ordered to pay $1.2 million in restitution. 36-year-old Jerome Grant of Buffalo, who was convicted of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine, was sentenced to 188 months in prison. Prosecutors say that between June of 2013 and July of 2014, Grant conspired with other Shuley Boys gang members to distribute cocaine in the city of Buffalo. The defendant purchased cocaine from other Shuley Boys gang members and broke it down into smaller packages for redistribution to customers. David Jesus Pagan, age 40, of Dunkirk, who was convicted of conspiring to possess with intent to distribute 5 kilograms or more of cocaine and being a felon in possession of a firearm, was sentenced to 97 months in prison. Court records show that Pagan and co-defendant Rafael Burgos were the leaders of a drug trafficking organization that distributed illegal narcotics in the Dunkirk area between 2013 and 2015. During that time, members distributed multiple kilograms of cocaine throughout the Dunkirk area. A 61-year-old Virginia man who was convicted by a federal jury of international parental kidnapping and conspiracy to commit international parental kidnapping was sentenced to 36 months in prison. Prosecutors say that beginning in 2009, Philip Zodiates of Waynesboro, Virginia, conspired with Lisa Miller to take Miller's then 7-year-old daughter from Virginia to Nicaragua. A federal jury returned a verdict convicting Gregory Ramos, also known as Prospect, age 25, of Buffalo, of possession with intent to distribute cocaine, possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime, and possession of a firearm by a person subject to a domestic violence order of protection. The charges carry a mandatory minimum penalty of 5 years in prison, a maximum of life, and a $1 million fine. Derek Ramos, also known as Little D, age 26, of Buffalo, who was convicted of RICO conspiracy, was sentenced to 72 months in prison. Ramos was a member of the Bailey Boys gang. On December 30th of 2010, he was one of the shooters involved in a drive-by shooting during which Philip Brown, also known as Skateboard, and a second unidentified man were wounded. Believing that they had found members of a rival gang in the vicinity of Broadway and Sears on Buffalo's east side, Ramos and at least one other individual, all of whom were traveling in a van with several other individuals, fired a series of shots. Brown was hit in the shoulder, while the second individual was shot in the upper thigh. New music tonight on All West New York Radio. Brand new music. We just got it this afternoon. It comes from Undefeated out of Rochester. Check it out at 8 p.m. Okay, that's the news. For All Western New York News and Radio, I'm Scott Leffler. Have a great day.